It sounds like there wasn't like a ton of time to prep, but how did Zane and Kia, how did you prepare? How many houses did you break into just to like get a feel for what this game is like?
Man, I broke into my dad's house with the key that he gave me. I don't know if that's considered breaking in if you have the key.
Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Pass. Today I'm talking to Jill Gevargizian, Kia Dorsey, and Zaen Haidar about Ghost Game, which is coming to theaters on October 18th, 2024, and digital on October 22nd, 2024. I'm going to talk to them right now. And while you're watching, if you can like, subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Jill Gevargizian, Kia Dorsey, and Zaen Haidar talking about Ghost Game, which is coming to theaters on October 18th, 2024, and digital on October 22nd, 2024. It is an indie horror film that has a really fun cast, a very interesting setup, and some twists and turns along the way. I'm very excited to hear more about how this film got started and what it was like playing these characters. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having us.
Awesome. Of course. So, first question is for Jill. How did you get involved in this project? I assume this film is based on your own real life experiences breaking into houses and, causing mischief, right?
Exactly. As you can see, I have the masks on my wall
Oh, there you go. I
for
love it.
whenever I need to play Ghost Game. No, officially, no, I'm not playing this game. I was brought onto the project through our writer Adam Caesar, who I had been connected with on a previous script he wrote with Jamie Nash. And so we were already connected for a couple years. And then this project they had greenlit with Epic Pictures, and they were looking for a director. Adam threw me in the hat for it. And I also knew, this is thanks to the horror community being so connected. I knew Ed Sanchez, director of Blair Witch, who was producing this. And when Adam suggested me, they were like, hell yeah, I'll reach out to her. And so I read it, loved it. And we made 2 months later, we were making this thing.
Oh wow, that is quite a term, but that's awesome. And it's good to hear like the horror community is so tight knit. I love that like, you're all looking out for each other and you're all connecting just through, the various circles that you all are interacting in.
For sure.
So Kia and Zane, how did you get involved in this? How early on did you sign on to this? I guess we'll start with Zane since you're higher up on the Zoom chat for me at least.
Um, well, I was just mass auditioning. It was a moment where I was just auditioning for everything I could get my hands on, trying to land something. And then it was a bunch of just smaller projects and movies. But then I saw the listing of Ghost Game and I said, you know what? I'll just give it a shot. Worst happens, they say no. And then I sent my audition through, and the guy that was interviewing me was actually Sam, who plays Adrian. And me and him connected. We just kept talking, and eventually, he let me know, like, yeah, man, you got it. And yeah, that was very exciting because this cast has been very exciting, and that's how I really started to know everybody a lot more. Was even way before we started shooting. Just seeing who everybody is and how we have a lot of things in common as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that you were auditioning with the character, the person that played Adrian. I hope it wasn't as antagonistic during the audition as it was in the film, but I guess that's just part of the method, right?
You know, he's a cupcake.
Awesome. Kia, what
Oh,
about you?
yes.
How did you get involved in
So
this?
funny that you called him a cupcake. I love that. Um, I had a similar experience, but my name was thrown in by my friend Mike, who recommended me. I guess they were still looking for a leading lady, and so I got the audition sides, and I submitted my audition. I think around December of 2022. Yeah, because we shot this like what February of 2023. So I sent it, and I guess Jill was like, "Yep, she's my girl," and I was like, "Thanks." And next thing I knew, I was flying to Maryland. For me, it was a pretty chill audition experience. I had fun with it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds perfect. Now, it sounds like there wasn't like a ton of time to prep, but how did Zane and Kia, how did you prepare? How many houses did you break into just to like get a feel for what this game is like?
Man, I broke into my dad's house with the key that he gave me. I don't know if that's considered breaking in if you have the key. Um, no, so Zane and I talked, and Sam and I talked, and then we all talked, and Jill and I talked. Like everybody was talking and connecting. Most importantly, we wanted to make sure that we were on the right track with what Jill envisioned um, as the director. And, I read the script over and over and breaking it down. And Jill was like, hey, this is kind of how I see Laura's background. This is her character. This is what I want her to feel in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. I was like, okay, great. And I just ran with it and created like a little cheat sheet for myself to use on set when we're jumping back and forth between scenes. And I'm very analytical when it comes to all of my scripts. So I was I was on my laptop like that entire 2 months between the role and filming. I was like,
Just
yeah.
building everything out. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I made a playlist too. So that was helpful. Yeah.
Spooky playlist, or like what kind of playlist is a ghost game playlist?
It was more like rock and roll, heavy metal, because I'm a goofball. I like Broadway show tunes and Disney, and I was like, I need something a little heavier than this to be breaking into houses. So that's
Yeah.
how I put it.
That makes perfect sense. Although I hope it was a little quieter, right? Because that playlist, you're gonna get discovered if if you're blaring like heavy metal, like they're gonna find you. Someone's gonna find you.
Yeah, no, it was to get me in the mentality of Laura, so it was nice. Yeah.
Zane, what about you? How did you prepare for this?
For me, it was actually one of the more harder roles I've prepared for because I had to be basically like scared and nervous for a majority of the film. And just me naturally, I'm very forward. And I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. But
Like,
you
oh
know,
God, I'm just so like masculine and awesome. That was tough for me to play this like scared person. No, it's hey, that is your cross to bear, sir.
no, yeah, so I was
I'm
like,
glad you said it.
I didn't know how to go about, just being very like timid all the time. And it took a lot of attempts. Like I would look at myself I remember one time I was just looking at myself in the mirror for an hour trying to get the expression down, like all the time just being scared. Um, but definitely Jill and Kia and Sam, they gave me a lot of pointers. Like they polished my act really, and honestly, that's how I really prepared for this role very well because of the help I had around me.
Yeah, no, and I love that. You're like prepared to be vulnerable by essentially being vulnerable and like looking at your expressions and making sure that they were accurate. Like that is a good way to kind of like go into this character. So I love that. I love that process for you. Um, Jill, almost a character in this movie. The house, that house is like so perfect. Where did you find this house? I know it's in Maryland somewhere, but it almost was too good to be true. It looked exactly like what you would expect a haunted house to look like.
Yeah, when our producers found it in Hagerstown, Maryland, which, yeah, it was the dream house. In the script, it was written to be this epic, huge, haunted house. And I was like, okay, we'll never get anything near what's in the script. And when they found that, I was like, oh my God, this is a dream. And I know a lot of us were very scared of the house, like Kia, for instance. We did a whole saging of the house. Um, and I had some scary experiences there. It's like me and our assistant director, Johnny Mercer, went up there a few times, like in the middle of the night to try to scare ourselves in prep. And the door to the basement would be open or
Oh,
or like more shut each time we would go back up
oh
there.
no.
Um, but
You
yeah,
brought
that
this
house was
upon
a dream.
yourself.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
I love the house. I want to go back. I know a lot of people never want to go back to it again. I miss it. I love
You,
it.
you missed that evil spirit that was following you. I mean, that sounds like a perfect place for it. How many people were murdered in that house, just like in real life?
None that I know for sure.
Okay. Okay.
It is like a 300 plus year old house.
So very possibly could be.
Yes.
Most
So
Bad
likely.
bad things definitely happened there for sure.
so I mean, yeah, the house seems perfect. Kia and Zane, what was like being in there? It sounds like it was creepy. Like what was it like filming in there, and like anything creepy happened to you all while you were there? We'll start with you, Kia.
Day one was terrifying, but I think after we like, I think after we walked into the house and we were like, please be nice to us. We're here for 3 weeks. We're just gonna like sage you. Okay, thank you. And then after that, we were good. I didn't have any scary instances, luckily. We were in holding in a completely different part of the house too. So when other scenes were being filmed that we weren't in, we were a little separated, but I don't know. I grew to like the house. It still freaked me out, but it was a cool house.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm glad the house accepted you and allowed you
Yeah.
to become comfortable there. Zayn, what about you? I mean, you're so masculine that you're probably just walking in
Yeah,
like,
like, it
"What up,
didn't really
ghost?
faze
Like,
me at
I'm
all.
here."
Nah, it was in my idea, like when I read the script, that's like the house I saw. Like it's just as creepy on screen as it is in person. Um, I really liked it. Me personally, I didn't know too much about like the horror genre coming into this movie, but seeing how much detail went into it, especially the house, yeah, it was crazy. And like the smallest things, like the spider webs or this chair being sideways, it just changed like the whole look of the house. It made it look a lot more scarier.
Yeah, yeah, no, the little touches were perfect, but it did seem like the house basically had its own character that
Oh
almost
yeah.
didn't
Oh
need to
yeah.
touch. So I'm just curious, Zane and Kia, what was filming like? Did you actually interact much with the family that was in the film? It feels like your scenes were mostly separate, so you could have filmed them separately, but I don't know how much interaction there was, on set or between takes and whatnot.
Little to none, if I'm being completely honest, just because of the scheduling. There were definitely days that we were there at the same time. But a lot of the time it was like, okay, we're gonna do the ghost trio first, and then we're gonna do the family trio second, or vice versa. So if anything, we would see each other as one person is in hair and makeup, getting ready to get dressed in costumes, and the other is like taking off their stuff for the day and being like, all right, I'm headed out, peace. Or, at lunch when we're switching. Um, so that kind of helped both sets of trios
Mhm.
to not really be in each other's space. Because the family doesn't know that we're there, so them actually not interacting with us, I'm sure, elevated their performances in a way that they just didn't get to be around us. So
Yeah, it's almost method acting. I mean, it's not, but
yeah,
it
yeah,
could feel like
yeah, yeah,
that.
We did
yeah.
get to see Vienna a lot. She was adorable.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we did interact with V a lot, but with Emily and Mike, I think I saw them maybe 2 days out of the entire shoot.
Yeah, like that would be the most you'd see.
Yeah, yeah.
And V is a ghost child that lived in the house that would visit you. Is that right?
V is the daughter. She plays Sam. She's fantastic. I think everybody just needs to keep an eye on her and her career moving forward because she is amazing. She was in The Stylist with Jill a few years ago, and she absolutely crushed it in this film. So
That's
And when
awesome.
you talk to her, you're like, no way, you're this old. You
yeah,
sound
yeah,
so
yeah.
sophisticated.
What? She's so mature.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great to see like a young actor kind of like show how good she is, and you get to follow her career like as she progresses.
Yeah, they
Um,
say child actors are the worst, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, she
She
was
was
amazing.
fantastic.
that is awesome. So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to a lightning round to just lightweight questions about the film. I want to hear your personal experiences mapped to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. First question. Have any of you ever been in like an actual haunted house, like visited a haunted house or stayed the night in something where something creepy happened other than this house?
No.
I don't know if it was haunted, but when I was younger, like me and my friends broke into an old bar. It's been like abandoned and
See,
it looked
method
haunted.
acting. I love it. You were
Real
prepping for
ghost
this
gaming.
role. I love it.
I've definitely traveled to tons of supposedly haunted places, but I haven't experienced anything myself.
Okay. Awesome. And I do love Zay that you're like that is a perfect prep for this movie. It's like you're building for this role.
I was preparing for it 6 years.
It was fate.
6 years, which is well past whatever statute of limitations might be for breaking and entering, but yeah, it's
Yes.
fine.
I'm like, you're admitting a crime.
It's
I was
a
safe. I knew
small
I was safe.
small one. Yeah, exactly. Um, do any of you have cameras in your house?
I hope not.
Your face, Kia. What is scary is how I actually made a short film about a true story where someone had put cameras in an apartment, the landlord of someone, and it was discovered here in Kansas City years ago. And through making that, I learned how terrifyingly easy it is for anyone to buy any of those cameras and put them anywhere. It
Oh
is
wow.
terrifying.
That is very scary. That is very scary. Kia, I would check all of your rooms, any little holes in your walls, just just double check that.
Go up with a light.
And Zayn sounds like he's got some security around his house. Perfect. Have you ever had any sort of like ghost game like incident happen? I don't know, like doors being opened or food being switched or things getting stacked on a table when you weren't around, anything like that?
Yes, but I think it
Oh.
was just something that I did and forgot about.
Yeah, yeah.
You were playing your own
I don't
game.
remember
Or
moving
maybe
that.
that's our way with coping with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it
exactly.
was me. I just forgot.
Exactly,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
I've not, but so I also do hair, and a client literally told me yesterday that when they were a kid, a man was discovered in their attic that was hiding out for like a long time, and he was fleeing a crime. Like this
Oh,
is a real
God.
thing. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check my attic like right now. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. And the last question, kind of related to all of this, how long do you think you could live in a house without getting caught?
2 minutes.
All right, it's a good amount of time.
Yeah,
I'm,
not long
I'm
at
I'm a
all.
wimp. I'm a wimp. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
kind of a wimp too.
all
Not
right,
in the same way, but definitely in that way.
all right. So not good ghost game players, although maybe this is just yeah, only 2 minutes as you like know that you could live for like weeks on end because you're still playing the game. But I'll take y'all word for it.
I
But
think Kia is hiding somewhere right now.
she's
Oh,
actually in the house. She's actually in my house right now. Uh, you can see, this fun cast, this creepy house, and this interesting game in Ghost Game coming to theaters on October 18th, 2024, and digital on October 22nd, 2024. This is Jill Gevargizian, Kia Dorsey, and Zaen Haidar. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
thank
you.
Thank
you.
you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was Jill Gevargizian, Kia Dorsey, and Zaen Haidar talking about Ghost Game, which is coming to theaters on October 18th, 2024, and digital on October 22nd, 2024. It is an indie horror film that has a fun cast, an interesting situation, and some twists along the way. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.